1.2 Applications of linear equations. So we are going to go over 4 different types of the application question. We look at the first example. A student has scored with 74, 78, and 70 on 3 exams. What score is needed on a 4th exam for the student to earn an average grade of 80? So we did the 4th exam. Grade is equal X. So now we add the first 3 exam grade, 74 plus 78 plus 70, and plus the 4th exam grade, divide by 4. And the student want to get an 80 by the end of the average grade. So now we just multiply by 4 on both sides. So this 4 will cancel with this 4. Now sum the first 3. It has 222 plus X equal 320. And the X will be equal A, 98. So that means the student need to get a score of 98 on the 4th exam in order to get an average with 80. Because the first 3 test score, it tends to lower than the 80. So that means the last test score, the student need to get as much higher grade as possible. I hope that makes sense to you. Now we look at second example. A city ordinance requires a man to install a fence around the swimming pool that's showing the figure here. He wants the border around the pool to be of uniform width. If he has 154 feet of fencing, you need to find the width of the border. So that means we need to find the X. Now, the information we have here from the question is 154. 154, this is kind of like the total length of the fence, which is, this is a parameter. So we know the parameter is equal to multiply length plus width, right? You have 2 sides of the length and the 2 sides of the width. Sum them all, that will be equal 154. So now the length here, if you look at the bigger, the outside rectangle here, the total length on the outside rectangle would be 20 plus 2x. Because here's 1x, here has another x. The total width of the outside rectangle has 16 plus 2x. So we know sum these two, it has 154. And now I'm going to substitute the length is 20 plus 2x. The width has 16 plus 2x. Now I'm going to divide by 2 first. Divide by 2 on both sides. Now we'll have 77 is equal, sum these two, you get a 36 plus 4x. Now the 4x is equal 41. So x is equal 41 over 4. So the unit would be the foot. So the width, the uniform fifths would be 41 over 4. If you want to convert this number into a mixed fraction, that would be 10 and a 1 over 4. Fit. Number 3. Lori invested 10,000, par at 9%, and the rest at 14%. If the annual income from these two investments is 1,275, how much did she invest at each rate? So now, this is the total amount she put into the two different investments. So I'm going to let this one has X. So if she invests X money into the 9%, that means the rest portion of the money would be 10,000 to minus X. So I can write down X plus 10,000 minus X, right? That would be the amount that she invests into that total money here. So from here we can write down another equation would be 9% has the investment with the X. So I'm going to convert the 9% into the 0.09 multiply with X plus, okay, let me erase here. Sometimes if I write it too hard, now it will has thing turn to like that. There you go. So we have 0.09x plus 10,000 minus x multiply with 0.14, because 14% is equal 0.14. Sum these two, that would be the investment interest money, has 1,275. Now from here we can solve for x. I have 0.09x plus, distribute these two, we will get a 1,400 minus 0.14x equal 1,275. Now combine like term, we will get a negative 0.05x. Bring the 1,400 to the right hand side, we will get a negative 125. Divide by negative 5 on both sides. Divide by negative 0.05 on both sides. We will get a 2,500. So that means she invests 2,500 into the 9%. So this will be the 9% portion. And she invests 7,500 into the 14% of the investment. Last one is a breakpoint analysis problem. For the breakpoint, that is the same meaning. Your cost. Let's see here. If there are two machines to do a job, the breakpoint is the number of units manufactured at which the cost on each machine is the same. So the cost one, the first cost on the cost on the first machine would be equal to the cost on the second machine. So that would be the breakpoint. Suppose one machine has a setup cost with 400. The unit cost has 1.50 per unit. The second machine has a setup cost with 500. The unit cost of $1.25. We find the breakpoint. According to the definition, the breakpoint is the first cost equal the second cost. So the first cost from the question would be 400. This is a one-time cost, setup cost, right? Plus 1.5x, depends on how many units the production line produced. That would be the unit cost occurred. Is equal the second machine has a setup cost with 500. Okay, there you go. 500 plus 1.25x. Now we have the equation set up. We solve for x. So bring the 1.25x to left hand side. We will get the 0.25x is equal 100. I subtract the 400 on both sides. So the x is equal 400. So in order to get a break point, in other words, in order to get the same cost on both machines, the production or the company need to produce at least 400 items. 400 items in order to satisfy the both production line getting the same cost. Alright, so this is the section 1.2. Now you can move on to web assignment.